Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
You have a very serious look on your face, but I bet it's not serious.
No, it is serious. Like, we got shit going down.
Okay, but when you can't talk about what's going on.
Clyde is not well, so I'm waiting to hear about blood tests from the vet.
I'm sorry, man. I love him.
Me too.
How old is Clyde? 12?
13.
11?
13. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to send healing vibes Clyde's way.
Indeed.
What we're going to do. I believe in that. And why do I hear a dog barking now? Do you hear that dog too? Just curious in terms of the proximity.
No, I don't.
Oh, God. That was a great experiment, though, right? We'll never be able to... Susan has a doggy bark on her phone. It's pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. Now, Joshua.
Yes.
I think your weekend wasn't very good.
Huh?
Because your weekend wasn't very good because Clyde's sick.
Oh, well, my weekend wasn't very good because I was in Vegas.
Oh, well, let's hear about. Okay, wait a second. It didn't go well? It wasn't fun, or just generally wasn't fun?
All of the above, really. I mean, actually, the only real surprise was that Friday night there was actually a crowd there, and the show was okay. But
wow.
In general, it was one of the more purgatorial experiences of my life.
How did Rich feel bad?
About the same. No, there was a general feeling of this was a worthless errand throughout the weekend.
Is it a worthless errand that he's losing money on?
I don't think he was losing money, no. But
okay.
He wasn't making a lot. But
because is he four-walling the room? Thank you, everybody.
No, he's not.
Thank you. What does that mean again? I already forgot.
Four-walling means when you rent the room.
Oh, okay. They get the bar.
Right. The hotel is basically like an abandoned cruise ship. It's this hotel that this family bought and has sunk a bunch of money into, but it doesn't have a casino, and they're like a huge construction family. Like, they do construction rental and So my strong suspicion is that this hotel is a needed tax write-off. Because they just sold one of their companies for like $2 billion or something. So that's my suspicion. Because it doesn't feel like mob money being laundered. It feels much more like a tax
regular money.
Yeah.
Oh, there isn't mob money anymore.
And the guy who runs the hotel is like the son of the family, but he's also like a concert pianist. He's like a Vangelis show, cruise ship, casino, with a big band playing pop songs on piano kind of guy.
This is so great.
So it was like the weirdest fucking weekend.
What, you heard that music too?
Huh?
Did you hear the music too?
No, I looked him up online because he was like, because that's what he was pushing. I've got a PBS special, and blah, blah, blah.
Where is it?
It's like near the Sahara. It's just off the strip. It's like it's like in the dank shadow of the stratosphere.
So it's kind of in the old Riviera area.
Yeah, it's down. It's right at the elbow between the strip and downtown, kind of.
Oh, that's nice. So
it was bleak. It was bleak throughout. And of course, as I said last week, I knew it was going to be bleak, but it lived up to almost every expectation. Except, like I said, there was one decent show.
I know you don't even like to gamble. So did you spend any time doing anything?
I did not gamble at all because there was nothing at the hotel, and
I just don't understand how the hotel. If you go into a convenience store, there they have 7 slot machines and they
right. Well,
and Keno.
I think they just figured they're not going to get. They're trying to be like more of an event.
I see. Oh, I see. Which is very similar to the Republic banquet hall.
Yeah,
that has been. They tried.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, what it was apparently was like a Chinese whale hotel where they were just like catering to Chinese whales, and they were like,
oh, okay, Chinese whales for the uninitiated.
A whale being a huge spending gambler,
right? Yes. Not what you would be thinking of as illegal hunting them,
right? But apparently the Chinese whale casino would like fly people in from Beijing and then they'd go to other hotels and drop $1 million. So they went under. So I think they figure, the kind of walk-in gamblers they're going to get in that neighborhood is not consistent with the image they're trying to build in this thing. So.
First of all, the idea of a walking gambler is a bad idea. Of an impulse gambler? That's not even true.
But I have no more affection for Vegas anymore at all, really.
Well,
it's just a soul-sucking netherworld at this point.
Well, Susan and I would like it, but we still enjoy the actual gambling.
Right.
So that part's fun. But even that part, after a while, you realize, hey, this thing seems rigged.
Right.
Unless you play like the best odds are when you play craps and you put the exact right number. That doesn't mean the number is going to come up, people. Doesn't mean the number. It just means they'll pay you out the best odds.
Right.
They'll pay you true odds.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean you win it. What?
What?
Oh, I like you. I like the little business you've added to it. A little business like a little sucking, a little bit like a
little. Where am I?
Where am I?
A little bit of a where am I when I wake up.
Well, let me tell you something. Thank God the Rockets. I'm so excited about the Nuggets. It's been a nonstop party.
Well, that Saturday night there was the parade for the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Who were they?
They're the NHL champions.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I missed I have never missed an entire hockey season without one icing call.
That was won by a team you've never heard of.
By a team that I don't even believe I think you're lying. There is not a Las Vegas. What's the name of them?
The Golden Knights. Doesn't it totally sound like a 1950s street gang? You know, hey, my mom made the jackets, Knights. Come on, unite.
Or it could be softcore porn.
Yeah, well, anything could be softcore porn, really.
I'm sorry, I smoked so much fucking pot before the show. God damn it, I shouldn't dab. Smoking's one thing.
Right. But just to get to your baseline, that's the sad thing.
I haven't dabbed since. See, I love dabbing, but I associate it with Doug Benson.
That's the only time. That's the only time I've ever dabbed was on that show.
We got very high, but I couldn't imagine having my own rig at home.
No.
So what I was going to tell you, Mr. Schmooky Book, was that I had a couple of topics and I ripped them out. So stupid.
Wow.
Oh, that's nice.
What was the point of that?
It was no good point. I was listening to Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, and I will now admit to you that
I've been listening to Pet Sounds too, and I had to call the vet.
Oh, okay. We can't talk about it then, right?
No.
So, I'm sad. Oh, my topic I brought up won't be good to talk about. Oh, I'm bummed.
So you're listening to Pet Sounds?
Yeah. So my knowledge of the Beach Boys, I love the Beach Boys, and in fact, I had an argument with about the Beach Boys once at Luna. Is it called Luna Lounge? Yes. So I was on stage. Maybe I've told the story before, but I'm talking about the Beach Boys, and Bob Odenkirk starts heckling me from the back of the room. It's all friendly heckling.
Yeah.
But he's basically saying the Beach Boys suck.
Right.
And the Beatles are great. And I said, why is that? There's something. He goes, the Beach Boys have terrible lyrics. Something about the lyrics and everything. I said, oh, so then I went through, listen, do, wah, ooh, do you want to know a secret? I started quoting Beatles lyrics back to him to prove
that's a great position to be in, is the Beatles are shitty.
Yeah, but I wasn't saying the Beatles were shitty.
Yes.
He was saying the Beach Boys are shitty.
Right.
And the Beatles are the best. Mm-hmm. Right? So when you listen to... Okay, so anyway, cut to Pet Sounds. I was not as familiar with the album as I thought I was. I had heard almost all the songs over the years, but really wasn't that familiar with it. And always thought that... I always loved the Beach Boys. I always thought that there was a thing called Smile, which there was, right? But and I think it was a lot of hoopla. I remember even listening to it, but not being as into it. I don't remember. But this is the album that really is like
the
inspired the Beatles. Yes. Inspired the Beatles to do Sgt. Pepper. The lyrics are unbelievable, and I'm saying what I'm saying is the lyrics are not unbelievable. But I found out it's written by this guy named Peter, not the Asher we think of. Tony Asher is his name. He was a lyricist, and he wrote 8 songs with the Beach Boys. And the thing about it is that, like, the lyrics to God Only Knows or the lyrics to almost everything on that song is not what you think it is. It's no beach and fun, and it's really serious, kind of like, I love you, God only knows what I'd be without you. And it's just genius, I think. It's just a genius level album in every way. And it really reminds me of I think Ricky Lee Jones was even influenced. What I think that they did was they were really able to expand the concept of verse. No, there's more than just verse, bridge, and chorus, because he would go into anything. He would go, right. Even on that album, Pet Sounds, there's a lot of just, obviously there's an orchestra, there's all kinds of things going on. And I'm not as always, I'm not as articulate about this as I'd like to be, but I was just like, man, that really captured, the music was beautiful and the lyrics were great. And I can't even believe the album was made on a certain level, because it's so, if an executive had heard it, or even Murray Wilson had heard it. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe I'm making too much of it, but I was like, oh man, I listened to a lot of it over the weekend.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you're going out on a limb by saying Pet Sounds is a great album.
I know, that's where it's like my Beatles story. It's my Beatles story all over again.
But God Only Knows is one of the great songs of all time, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
And I think it's McCartney's favorite song, too.
Yes. And the lyrics are, I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you.
No, we know the lyrics, Andy. We don't.
No, they don't. I'm not going to sing it. But the point is that I didn't tend to listen to lyrics on Beach Boys songs.
Yeah.
Because straight a bit of big and the hoo 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 and then the and Ventura Away and the.
Okay, so you're taking Odenkirk's position there.
No. I just didn't listen to the lyrics. I loved the music. I always loved all their music. I didn't like surf music. I don't even know what it was.
Right, but that's what they did. They were doing.
That's not surf music. What they were doing, though.
Sure, it was. It just wasn't the baritone guitar surf music, but Surf City, USA, and that's Jan and Dean, I think. But Surf and Safari and all those songs.
Right.
Absolutely surf music. But then they, like the Beatles, they grew and took it to another level.
Well, I don't know enough about the surf situation now. I'm learning it by this podcast called
If Everybody Had an Ocean Across the USA.
Yeah.
That's surf music.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying
everybody had some lotion.
It still doesn't sound like Dick Dale on the Doom Domes. Doesn't sound like them. But I don't know enough about surf music to trace the sound. So let's not make this an argument about surf music. But I'm willing to do it. But this podcast is called Lost Hills. It's about, I've listened to a couple of podcasts about this. It's just about the way Malibu was before it got very populated, and there is a lot of white supremacy, and there's a lot of white supremacy that goes along with the surf scene. And this podcast about this guy named Mickey Dora, who is the most famous surfer in the world. Yeah. And just, it's all about how, it's no joke. They would beat up people, it's not like it was a very dangerous situation.
Right.
And there was a lot of white supremacy and Nazi symbols in their stuff. And they didn't want people coming, they didn't want anybody to visit the beach.
This is why surf Nazis must die.
What is surf? Is that from what?
It's a movie.
Oh. Is it good?
It's so good. It's Surf Nazis Must Die, Andy. How good do you think it is?
I don't know. I never can tell whether your next... I can never tell if your reply is going to be sincere or it's going to be... what's the opposite of sincere?
Me.
No, it's like...
Sarcastic?
Okay, well, here's the image of how I feel whenever I go into a story about an album I've heard.
Yeah.
Yes, Sandy, we know there's music. Yes.
No,
So I really, I had known about this Mickey Dora. Yes, we know there was surfing in Malibu. For Christ's sake. Yes. Yes, it's called surf music. Yes. Yes. Yes.
But there's a long legacy of white supremacy here in Los Angeles.
Is that the first thing you think of?
Well, the golf course they played the U.S. Open at this weekend didn't allow Jews until the 70s.
Right.
And didn't allow show business. They didn't allow show business professionals, which was how they kept out Jews. And that's why the Jews opened Hillcrest, so that the Jewish comics could play golf.
Oh yeah, that I think I did know that even because I think I've been to that golf course on Pico or something like that. But I will say that the whole I mean, you may know this existed, but I don't know a lot about it. About the fact that there was cool people and whoever you want to say was cool. Party people in the late 70s, or even before that. Ally McGraw lived. I mean, there were two scenes going on. There was a very cool scene going on in Malibu before everybody discovered it with actors and artists.
Yeah.
And then all along that same time, it was like a rednecky kind of town where there was a bunch of rednecks and people who just didn't want you to be. They hated you, and especially the surf. Very much the surf philosophy is that because they don't. I never realized how much it was like we can't have anybody else on our wave, and
right.
I've never been out there to see how crowded it gets.
It's a surf and turf war.
Well, there was no and that's the thing about this pocket thing. There was no wasn't even any. There was surfing probably forever. I guess this came from Polynesia, but there was so little surfers. Back, when they're talking about this guy, Mickey Dora was the best. There were so few competitive surfers that you knew about.
Right.
That were, it was not a popular sport.
I watched this is how much it stuck with me, but I watched a doc about the father of surfing, basically, this Hawaiian guy and his name totally escapes me. But
where's Polynesia? I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Polynesia.
Hawaii is a Polynesian set of islands.
Very good. But it seems, when I think of this is why I'm bad with geography.
Hopefully.
Well, this is why I'm bad with geography, because I know about 3 or 4 things, and then most of them are not right. So in other words, like Middle East, I know I can put some countries in Middle East. I can put some countries on the African continent. I can put some. But then it goes, I don't know if you're supposed to stare at a globe and go around like this till you get it, or I think it's your if you have a mind, my mind doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Just doesn't, it's like even if I'm.
Doesn't know things.
Well, no, it's like I don't have a good sense of direction.
Yeah.
It's just not I mean, I'd like to have a better sense of direction. Maybe I should learn latitude and longitude.
Not really sure that that's really a sense of direction issue.
What? Latitude and longitude?
Yeah.
So what do you think it is?
Well, sense of direction is really about your own personal sense in the world.
Yeah, but like Susan knows where north, west, east, and west is all the time. I don't.
Right.
So I think that's I don't have a personal sense of.
Right, but if you're looking at a map, you kind of know that north is up, right?
Well, but it's not when I'm looking at a map. If it was looking at a map that was the problem, that wouldn't be the problem. The problem is that Susan goes 7 or 8 blocks in someplace she's not been around. She knows the lay of the land better. I don't have that sense. I'm losing the forest for the trees almost all the time.
Yeah.
And so I'm easily, like if I go walk on my walk every day, I could be easily, I think it's just the way my mind works.
Yeah.
My mind works like, I don't know, I
know how your mind works, and it's that everything is internal, and therefore you're not really paying attention.
Thanks. And we'll be back later on in the show with more conclusions by Josh. Good. All right. Well, we got that out of the way. So where should we go now? Yeah. Well, there's no question about the fact that I get. There's two aspects of it. One is if I really am getting into a thing where my mind is going on a good percolator,
right,
then I don't really care. But most of the time, like the reason why I go around with one earphone is I don't want to look, and this would be you'd like this because you're big on you can't have a thing when you're driving. You don't want to have one in one ear. You got to be sense everything. So when you put on the two, and a lot of these ear pods are too. You feel like you're completely in an envelope.
Right.
You block out the sound so much.
Yeah, I hate that.
So, yeah. That's why I kind of like the AirPods.
Yeah.
Even though you can put something on them, they kind of loosely, but they also fall out. There's no winner with headphones. They just bother you after a while.
When you're rappelling down the curb, they tend to come out.
I've lost... I told you I have 7 pairs of one-armed bandits. I
Yeah.
keep calling them one-armed bandits. I keep thinking there's a name for someone with one headlight, and I looked it up, and I couldn't. Nobody. It's not a one-armed bandit because that doesn't even make sense, and that's from the Fugitive show.
A one-armed bandit is a slot machine.
Oh, okay. I think that I confused those two. Why is because all you have to do is one arm, but the one-armed bandit
has one arm and it takes your money. That's why it's the one-armed bandit.
I never. That one go over my head. The one-armed bandit.
Yeah.
So like people are clever enough to come up with a funny take on how they're losing all their money.
Right.
They go, where are you going to be? I'm going to be over by the one-armed bandit for an hour.
Exactly.
So people are right. but can't you also look at it as a noise machine that may provide you with cash you didn't know you were going to have? Just by putting a quarter in. It's a wild ride.
Right.
Of numbers and fruit.
You're thinking of it more as a one-armed clown.
I think a one-armed clown would be bad because, well, first of all, you can have one arm. I'm not against it.
Sure.
But do you know how much the fugitive?
There's the one-armed people, and then there's real people like you.
Do you know that when the fugitive was on the air, and I'm not kidding about this. Yes, I am. I'm not kidding about this. I am going to kid. There were so many wrongly accused one-armed people in the 60s. I'm not joking with you. I'm not joking because it's not funny. That's why you know it's not jokes.
Right.
But because of the prejudice, people think it was easy to be white back then.
Sure.
Not if you had one arm and you were walking around suspiciously. Not then. Not with those situations. You know what is old, but I still think it's funny, is Not in This Economy still makes me laugh, even though I know it's old.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of in the same category as I Make a Nice Living.
Yes, it is. It's kind of a classic. In this economy, the thing that's good about that expression is if you're saying it, you already sound like someone who's not broke. You know what I mean? You're already,
right.
It already sounds not real. In this economy, you want me to have some gum? A piece of gum? I guess all I'm doing now is just explaining the joke over and over and over again for those who don't know it.
Right. Like me.
Your old friend was out. Elvis C. Jay Kogan was posting shots of a 95-year-old man playing rhythm. I said, "Who's that?" Yeah, I can't even summon the jokes about old people playing. But for 1 second, I said, "Why is my grandpa playing an Elvis song?" He seems to be having an excellent time.
Yeah, a lot of people went. I unfortunately was out of town. But it was Elvis and Nick Lowe, so that was an especially big draw.
And you've seen Nick Lowe, right?
I've seen both of them many times. Yeah,
I've seen both of them a couple of times.
Yeah,
I saw Elvis Costello once, and I saw Nick Lowe twice. And I don't know. I'm trying to one up you somehow.
Well, you did by caring.
It's true. That's how I normally get in trouble on the show, is I'm caring.
Yes.
I care. I care so much.
So caring.
Well, you can't. Let me tell you something. When you bring a panoply, when you bring an assortment of humor and bits that I bring to the show that I work on constantly, my stings and whistles, it's tiring after a while. I listened back to all the shows 5 or 6 times.
Right.
The first time just to get the pattern.
You know what this show needs? Pet Sounds is good.
In many ways, you're a horrible human being.
I really am. Some of them hidden, some of them overt. But yes, in many ways.
In many ways. And people think I'm the horrible person. That's the thing that gets me.
That's one of the ways I'm horrible.
That's the beauty of it. I keep wanting to think that, is there anything, I keep seeing things over the weekend, or I keep seeing things to tell you, but now I realize, why am I telling you? I can't wait to tell Josh how soaring the lyrics are. First of all, I've found personally for myself that my excitement about whatever it is that I'm discovering, this is why I would never be a good critic.
Right.
I mean, I am a critic, but not an actual
Sure. You're
critic.
critical, but you're not.
I'm critical.
Yes.
Because I feel like I'm having, first of all, sometimes it's like you feel like you've discovered something like the Beatles, right?
Tricky spelling.
And other times it's like I know what I'm saying. It's like I know what I'm saying about the argument with Bob Odenkirk, and I know what I mean when I say that the lyrics are deceptively brilliant on that album because they don't sound like song lyrics.
Right.
They sound like a young man talking to a woman.
Well,
I think that makes it brilliant.
Yeah, and I don't think Bob Odenkirk was talking about Pet Sounds. I think he was talking about...
No. Let's take him out of the... No. But he has very strong opinions. He's
Sure.
like me sometimes. He'll go, Lenny Bruce sucked or something like that. He's not afraid to have strong opinions about things that he might not know everything about.
Right. Because it's fun to get people to argue with you about shit like that, too.
Well, that happened to be a great argument because I was at Luna Lounge and everyone's cheering for me and everything else, and REM's in the room. But what I think of is like there's two things to it. First of all, they're not. It's only what's the word called? It's only revealing things to me that are interesting or that sound interesting. And then the other part of it is that I can sense if you're not hanging on every word, which why would you be? Then I'm like, oh God, I don't even want to talk about this anymore. Because just be like, yeah, what did you do this weekend, Andy? Oh, you found a song? Oh, that's nice. Now I think I'm adding extra verve to the person to you. Because I'm really adding an extra hate of me to your personality.
Yeah, that's not fair. That's not really fair.
It's not fair. That's not fair. That's coming from me. Right? You know when that's true,
Sure.
right?
I'm just a mirror.
I've been fantasizing. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I've been fantasizing about how I'm going to walk Lucky and Cody.
Yeah.
And Clyde. I didn't know Clyde was sick, but I've been really trying to think, am I going to move into the backyard, into a thing that I can, or maybe it's like a day room I can always go into with my own key and then play with the doggies in the backyard.
Well, I don't.
Or walk.
I don't really need you to come over to play with our dogs in the yard.
No. But I'm saying, here's what I was fantasizing about.
Yeah.
I go on the walk, right? Oh, come on, Lucky. And I go, look, I want to go over to take him to the LA River.
Yeah.
That's not good, right?
It's okay.
But what if they start going? They're not that strong. I'm not that weak.
Right. You can handle those two dogs. Can you handle picking up their poop in a bag? Is the question.
Well, only because I saw something yesterday at the LA River that made me more excited about it. It's not the regular plastic bag. It's a mutt mitt.
Yeah.
It's a mutt mitt. And that makes me, as I'm telling you right now. I like the way
you keep saying it with your hand, too. Mutt mitt.
That makes me feel worse. I think it's worse. Why do I want to have to feel the actual feeling of what the thing is?
You kind of have to, though, because it's...
Okay, you have to get it up. You have to get it up and go.
It's the inside-out grab with the bag that is the most efficient move, unfortunately.
I wanted to ask you since
it's warm. It's warm.
I want to ask you since you're familiar with dog behavior. I've been having this problem since I started walking. It's not really a problem, but I can't figure out what my bladder is going to do, right? So I want to constantly, as an old man, void my bladder as many times as I can before I leave the house for the walk. Because what happens is, I don't know how the bladder works, but as soon as you leave the house, even if you've peed 12 times, all of a sudden your bladder fills up. So I know there's something psychological about it, but I thought I would love to.
You have OCP.
But I was saying, when I see these dogs, they go 4 feet, they lift their leg, and they pee. Probably nothing even comes out half the time.
Yeah.
That's how I see myself.
Really?
Am I a dog?
Well, it depends if you're marking your turf or not.
Now you're saying that is that theory or is that what?
If they will pee, if they smell another dog's pee, they will want to pee on top of it.
Oh, are they stupid?
A little bit. No, this is what my dogs do in the yard. One pees, the other one pees on that, the third one pees on that.
And that at no point do they go, I know this looks ridiculous, but
Lucky's the only one. I mean, it's a male thing mostly, but Lucky's the first to pee, and then one of the dogs will pee on hers, and then the other will pee on theirs.
Well, how about that Chris Gaffney song? You have to lift up your leg a little higher if you want to play with the big dogs. What's he talking about?
He's talking about big dog dicks.
So big dog. Okay, woman can't do it. Your woman dog can't do it, right?
No, they crouch.
They crouch like little girls. Like frightened girls.
Yes.
Not like real people.
Right.
The look on your face is, keep going, schmuck. Keep going, putz. Say a little more.
We're at a crossroads.
I'm just saying the Jews are smarter and better than other people who aren't Jewish, is all I'm saying. And thank you, Avi Lieberman. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you're a great crowd. So I have become fascinated with dog behavior since I don't have a dog. So I watch all these people. And so I see this dog that he's running around. He looks so happy.
Yeah.
And then he's looking around. And then he goes up. They take him to another dog. And then the other dog wants to kind of either fight or is angry, wants to fight. And then the other owner goes, he's too old. He doesn't like to. He doesn't like, he's just tired now. He's just relaxing.
The old dogs do not like the young dogs for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, my image of the dog, still having a rudimentary image of it, is that even at age 12, they look like they're running, or 11, they look like they're running down the street. They still seem to be, and they seem to be joyful. I see very few dogs that don't seem either joyful or very busy. They've got something to smell. They've got something to do.
Yeah, you rarely see a morose dog. And when you do, which is what's going on with Clyde right now, it's fucking horrifying. It's depressing.
Right. Something is absolutely wrong then.
Yes.
How about those little tiny dogs that seem scary to me, though? Like, why do rich people have small, tiny dogs?
I think because they need the constant reassurance. And
they need the reassurance.
Both the rich people and the little dogs need constant reassurance.
But it's almost like they don't want to have a dog. They want to have a dog. It's almost like those people who have birds. No, I think they love their little schmoky.
I think they do. They put them in their purse.
I'm thinking of Vanderpump, basically.
Yeah. That's what's nice about Cody, is he's just over that level of ridiculous. That's not even a dog.
The other thing I can't understand in the animal kingdom is how people see. I know I'm small and weak, so I'm not going to be an alpha person.
Little dogs do too.
I thought they say they don't, though. Sometimes.
It depends on, like, a miniature pincher doesn't know it's a miniature pincher. It thinks it's a full-size Doberman.
That's so great.
Comically brave is what the phrase that I've seen about min pins. But like Cody, like, we have two medium-sized dogs who basically think they're big dogs. And then Cody comes along and he's clearly, like, he's 10 pounds, so he has to protect himself from the world. So that was, now he's not like, when he first came, he was just afraid of me moving around him, basically, because I was just this hulking thing, I think. And,
right.
But now it's like he knows I'm not going to kick him or fall on him, or
These are things he can never know with me around.
But now he's a little love bug, but who's still a little freak who snaps and does little freaky gremlin-like outbursts, but that's common for Chihuahuas, apparently.
There's something about, and I've stepped on. I mean, I love cats. Yeah. We're not going to have a cat here because we want to have a dog eventually. But when I had cats, I stepped on them many times.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not like you're pounding down the,
right. But
you'll step on them in barefoot.
They get underfoot, yes.
Yes, and then they make this particular sound. They make a loud sound, then it's over.
Right.
Then it's over because they're just telling you, get off of me.
Right.
Well, I may have a pet one of these days. Where I could go? I could go snake. Let's go snake.
Yeah. That'd be better than peeve.
What does that mean? When did I miss that one?
It's a pet peeve.
Oh, you know what I like now, as you know, because you joke with me. I didn't even get the joke that, did you listen to the indictment on tape? Well, now they have all these New York Times audio, and a lot of them are doing audio, like almost as many stories are.
Right. So you did listen to the indictment on tape.
No, I listened to our bees. Not are they necessarily sentient. First of all, there still is no, I'm not saying this. Science is saying there's no definitive way to know if animals are suffering, which I think is, as I'm saying, is ridiculous, because if you're going, you know you're suffering. Okay, so let's put that aside. But bees, they put these bees and they put them in a closed hive, and they take my train, or they go across country. It's terrible.
It's just a hobby.
But bees are, in other words, how we treat bees. It's just a whole interesting thing, because I was thinking, I've been thinking about vegetarian the last couple of weeks, but that in general, they have studies now that they can see. They must, I don't know if they're sentient beings, but they are beings. I don't know how it works, but it's not just like, look at that little bee, so stupid. I keep applying my own worldview to like how people are, right? Like, if this is science, 16th century. Look at that stupid bee. Oh God. Okay, I'm done, because I think that I'm constantly. No, it's not. No, this is great. I wish I wish I could listen to this.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather listen to a bee, frankly. But you know how you know why bees are intelligent?
Why is that?
Spelling.
Oh my God! There is someone who lives just below your surface. He's almost a vaudevillian.
He is almost a vaudevillian. Yeah, it's one of the hidden terrible people in me.
You're not Uncle 5 Cents. That's not you.
Not generally.
No, that I would not be scared. If you were my uncle, I would not be scared. What's his name's going to be all over me. You're not all over the people.
He's going to take my nose again, isn't he? This
That's right.
Guy's going to take my nose again.
You treat the kids with respect. I do. You don't do what my dad does. What are they going to do to me?
I do not. I don't like fucking with people who are innocents.
That's not what my father did. Just to clear it up. I love how I get this all over. This is like to me, a tribute to our show. I don't care if 10, 40 people total listen to the show. All day long, I get someone doing a reference to something happened on the show.
Yes.
You know, like in terms of a life event. Right. And it just cracks me up all the time. I can't. Of course, I can't.
We've created our own Greek chorus for our lives.
And people enjoy needling me like you needle me. Yeah. They enjoy the needling.
They do. I noticed that, and I like it.
Well, they don't. Well, when they needle you, it's usually more like angry people. Right. What the fuck do you think you're doing?
Right.
I get that too, I'm sure. Fuck you, Andy.
I think you might get that more than I do.
You're mixing up my general reaction.
Oh, okay.
With the specific podcast.
Okay.
You think we'll make 1,200 shows? I think we. How long do you think us to do 300 shows?
My stomach pain.
6 years? Did it take us 6 years?
It took us, figure about 52 shows a year. Figure about 50 shows since we've been doing our little August break.
Does that mean we have to have a feud this August?
I don't think so, no. I think we have feud prevention weeks.
Do you know that I still want, I've suggested this earlier to you, I want to do an infrastructure show.
Yeah.
We've said.
You keep saying it's infrastructure week, and it just never happens.
I want to talk to you.
Shit.
Unless you have something now.
No, it's okay.
I want to talk to you about these things. Okay. They say don't make fun of the. When I did the first speech in Montreal 2 years in, when I was giving the speech, Bruce Hill said, 2 years in, would you please get off of Leno's back or whatever his argument was. People don't want to hear that much.
You're sabotaging your career.
Right, whatever the thing was.
Argument, yeah.
It's not my fucking fault that this guy is such an idiot that he's doing comedy boot camp with fucking Adam Carolla.
I know, you saw that, huh?
Yes, I did see that. Yes.
Alex actually sent it to me last week and went, have you guys recorded yet? I went, yes, damn it, we did.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I know that it's like, I don't have any desire. I don't even have a desire to hate him.
Right.
But it's so clear that he's always been kind of a right-wing douchebag. Because whenever he would talk about politics, it would sound right-wing, even though his wife does amazingly great things. And I don't think he's like Tim Allen. But Tim Allen's one of his best friends.
I think I think a lot of his money goes the left direction.
Right.
Via his wife, but still.
I think and I was thinking about this. What is it? Oh, they both like stupid cars. They both like these stupid cars, right? So that's how they bonded.
Right.
And then Adam Carolla is always obsequious around Jay. That's what I'm assuming.
Probably.
Right? He's always like.
But there's other people involved in this too. They're just the headliners.
Who are you talking about?
In this comedy boot camp thing. There's other people involved. It's not just these two guys leading the whole day, but they're the headliners of the whole thing.
Someone said, who listens to the Majority Report, they said, we should send somebody over there to cover it. But I was like, I don't think I could go in disguise.
I don't think you're the man. I don't think you are. But I was thinking about it just because it's like it did say for beginner, intermediate, and advanced shows.
It did not say advanced.
It did. It was basically for people at any phase of their career. So
I would love to see.
It might be worth we should do a Kickstarter to get my admission paid.
Would you go?
Maybe. I don't know that I could find the right tone. Wouldn't
everybody notice you and think you were fucking around?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm well known enough for anyone to go.
He's a ringer. I want you to go. So
I kind of do too. I'll be honest. My first thought was, I kind of want to see this.
Where is it?
But then there's just it's a purely negative exercise that
there's nothing good about it. It's like unless you were writing for Scientific American or something.
Right.
Where is it?
I don't know. I didn't dig that deep.
Oh God, man. And there's another thing, Elon Musk. Oh yeah, just as these
they even
they
even use the word skits in the pitch for the seminar.
Well, here's the thing.
People write skits.
He doesn't. This is not, in terms of practical terms. He either doesn't need the money. He's probably not even charging. It's not about the money. What is it about that he wants? He wants the people to say he's the greatest in that format, in a summer camp format?
I don't know. It might be just writer's strike. He feels like he has to keep working, doing something. He can't do his game show. I don't know.
It's sick. It's a little sick, I think.
Well, I think it's well established that he has some compulsions that don't seem reasonable.
You mean like getting seriously injured, like 3 weeks after you got injured? I don't know what's going on. I don't understand. I feel like I want to somehow follow him secretly and see what it's like when he claims that, so I'm driving. Go ahead.
No, it's just weird that there's to have a comedian who's unwilling to admit something's wrong. It's just it's so counter comedian.
I know. And I don't think he was. I think that there's something not off about him, but there's something. He's not self-aware. And yet he's self-aware as a comedian. McDonald's has their minimum wage program.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea what his act would even be like right now. That's another curiosity I have that I'll never quench.
And the fact that he was considered so great, and by people like Letterman to be so, and he was funny. I remember I had no problem with him back in the 80s.
No, I even paid to see him in the 80s.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Where was that?
At the Orpheum Theater, I think.
And do you remember anything about the show?
Yeah, it was funny. It was good. This is before I even started stand. This was like when I was 14, maybe.
Oh, man. You had a busy childhood.
Oh, God, so busy.
No, but I mean, you were doing things. I wasn't doing. I was in Manhattan. I wasn't going to the Empire State Building every week.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that.
That's weird.
It just was weird. there's a couple other things that are going on, not just Corolla. Oh yeah, it's Elon Musk. It's like Peter Hotez is this respected scientist, and they're trying to get him to debate Joe Rogan.
No, they're trying to get him to debate Kennedy on Joe Rogan's show.
And this is like, no, of course, if you have three, this is how this field works. You get an idiot like Rogan and two people who know how to talk, know words that you don't really know, right? Like neurodynamic switchovers. I don't know how they're able to use that many words and still come to the conclusions that.
Well, mostly it's citing shitty studies that no one has read.
And connected to some grift.
Acting as if those studies have gravitas.
But it's just out of control now. So it's like, it's out of control in the sense that
Elon Musk, who owns one of the giant social media platforms, is actively behind anti-vax bullshit.
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess it all of a sudden became sad to me.
It's all sad. I can't, Twitter's horrible.
Twitter's horrible, but it seems to me also that the world
is horrible. Yeah, everything's horrible.
The world is more horrible than it was.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
No, it is. It's true.
But I feel better than I felt in 2017 when Trump came into office. But that's not really a high bar. But it's just, it seems to me, maybe having lived in another lifetime than a lot of people who are younger, like, he said that he lied. John Kerry lied. He lied. It's like, that's no longer a thing anymore, whether you lie or you don't lie.
Right.
And then I really do think there's a lot of people who don't know about stuff, and maybe they are going to get their COVID information from their stupid comedian friend. They are going to get COVID information.
No, absolutely. It's people will believe the person who says shit with the most conviction these days, and it's because they're too lazy to do their own learning.
And Rogan, people, did he send somebody to his house? I wouldn't put anything past him, but he knows that people are going to Dr. Hotez's house and threatening him. He knows that's what he's doing. He knows that he's, it's like Jimmy Dore knows when he's reporting on Seth Rich. Reporting that Seth Rich was involved in something. He knows that they know that they're hurting people.
Yes.
I just don't give a fuck.
They're unleashing harassment regardless.
Right. I'm actually kind of glad that Twitter's going down. And I'm not saying I'm glad, but I've been getting a lot of people like, do you want me to invite you? What was this one the other week that I had not heard about before? But like, I'm not so sure I want to go on to another platform. I think this might be a good time period for me not to be tweeting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like absolutely. A life without this?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think it's going to be good.
I think there's no real value in it. It turns out. And
you can say, Andy, how are you going to promote all of your things? Well, I'm using Instagram more than I used to, at least to some, but it doesn't matter. Right. It does not matter. Whatever is going to happen, I would say this, but maybe there'll be another great site 5 years from now called, What's Your Thoughts? Or
right.
Stinger. Whatever it is, maybe it'll start again. I just don't think it can ever start as it was, which it was a fun thing for you. It was a fun thing for the group of friends that you met on this thing that you didn't.
Yeah, and what was fun about Twitter was that the users ultimately decided what the platform was.
Right.
If you remember, it was like the joke was, "Oh, tell me what you had for lunch" when it came on.
That was one of my jokes, horrible jokes early on.
But that was the rap of Twitter.
Yes.
It's just like, oh, one sentence, great. And then users found out what to do with it. We realized it was a great joke platform.
Right.
But that developed organically, essentially.
Yes.
But now there's this idea of what Twitter is, and people are trying to apply that to these other platforms, so that they're never going to organically develop into anything other than bad Twitter, really. Or
trying to be a good Twitter, but
right.
that it's just not. And a lot of that
because it's not like you actually want a site where it's all exactly like-minded people either.
Right. I understand that.
That's not interesting.
Right, but the variety of opinions that are allowed that you want to support I'm not saying you're saying this, but they don't include lies about COVID.
No, I mean, because you can't just do a platform that's IQ based is the problem.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's a big change in terms of
like they should, the best platform would have, like, instead of the prove you're not a robot, like prove you're an actual human being.
I know, it's like these, when I get into arguments with people, and I know it's stupid to get in arguments with them, it's like, this guy's been around since 2011, and whatever his name is, he's Brother Dan. He's been heckling since 2011 or whatever. These people, like, I got in an argument with this one guy. He goes, well, I can't say who I am because it'll affect my wife's job. So since 2011, you're just going to be a troll?
Right.
I don't even get it.
All right.
Yeah, I can't, because in other words, like, if people knew who I really was, if people knew how horrible I really was, then my wife would lose her job. Well, that sounds more like what you're doing.
Right. That sounds like, yeah, like your shadow self needs a handle.
That's why losing Facebook was such a great thing. You did it before me, and I, was locked out of it. But holy moly, that was designed to start. That's like an algorithm. What's the best way to start a fight? You have someone say one thing, and then you have people line up underneath to tell them what an asshole they are, and it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not a healthy time. But I think that's what they should do, is not instead of you prove you're not a robot, show every motorcycle. It's like, it should be prove you're an actual human being. Click every person that's hurting in this picture.
Like a new captcha.
Right.
Not your father's captcha. Locate the empathy. Check off the boxes that indicate empathy. This guy checked off none. It was a whole thing at Mother Teresa feeding people none. Some people hate Mother Teresa, I remember now.
Yeah.
That fucking, whatever his name is, Hitchens. That's how I started to go on Hitchens. Like, even before I hated it, was like, he wrote a whole book about how fucked up Mother Teresa is.
Right.
That can't be good. Even if she's not as wonderful.
Right. But you're spending a year of your life to say how horrible Mother Teresa is?
So, just so that you can fight with people who go, what are you, Mother Teresa? Well, actually, when you're telling people that they're like Mother Teresa, what you should be saying is
you're saying they're a monster.
For many years, I thought it was Sister Teresa. That just shows how Christianity, I'm still only familiar with it by certain names. Like even
Mother Teresa, Sister Teresa, Mother Teresa, Sister Teresa. Forget it, Jake. It's Catholic Town.
It's Catholic Town. How does your mind? That's pretty quick. Your mind went not just to the joke, but to the illustration of the joke. Many, many levels instantly.
Yeah, I'm that good.
It's pretty. Hi, sweet. Susan's up.
Oh, good.
And
which means we're done.
Oh, hoo hoo hee boo boo. 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 Boo boo.
Hey, oh, it's time to step away. Hey, oh, cause we run out of stuff to say. Hey, oh, we're going to take a break. Hey, oh, But the point I'm here to make is that we're going to be right back. 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 Don't have a heart attack, because we're going to be right back. No need to give us flack. Yes, we're going to be right back.
Did you get your shipment?
I did. It was big.
Oh, we can't. We cannot talk about it, or
We can. We have to now that you said get your shipment. It sounds like I've got.
no. I got mine too. I ordered the hashish,
Right.
and I ordered what's the pills you can't get here? I ordered Viagra from overseas with the hashish from Lebanon.
Watch out for the fentanyl Viagra. Watch out for those.
Oh my God! That would, ladies and gentlemen, I'm scared of dying. That would be the worst way to go. With your erection dead from fentanyl.
I don't know. It's actually kind of sounds like the Andy Kindler dream death. Stoned with an erection. No,
I think that you're giving me a blue velvet vibe that I don't need.
Yeah. Well, probably we shouldn't be making. I shouldn't be making funny death jokes since we had.
So what's going on? I mean, I've been thinking about you all week. The nation has turned its lonely eyes to you.
Yes, we. The sad news here in the house is that we have lost. We've lost Clyde. We lost Clyde on Tuesday of this week.
I don't like it one bit. I didn't mean to make.
You didn't do anything wrong. You did nothing wrong.
Good. Stop it, Andy. And going down the road.
It's not your fault.
And going down that road won't be helpful.
No.
I didn't contribute. I was so sad by that. First of all, I knew Monday that things weren't going well.
Yeah. We got bad blood tests on Monday that his kidneys were in serious failure mode. And pretty much from there, the decisions became easy. The only way to sort of quote unquote save him would be put him in the hospital for a few days and they could flush out his kidneys and maybe he'd get a few weeks before it happened again. So that's not an option. They couldn't fix his kidneys. So,
is it just old age kind of?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't do an autopsy, but, he had an x-ray and there was no big tumors or anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a way that dogs die, but I don't know exactly what caused it or how long it was going on. But in terms of his behavior, he didn't seem like he suffered for very long at all. So,
how long was he starting to feel bad?
Really, over the weekend was when he was like, I mean, he was having sort of a different relationship with water over the last week. He was gulping it and throwing it up sometimes, and
that's always or can be a symbol of something. Sign of something.
Yeah. But then he wasn't holding down food. We took him to the vet and got blood tests and x-rays. And then the next day, it was clear he wasn't getting better by the time we got the blood tests. And then by Tuesday morning, it was clear that it was time. And we had someone come over.
To your house?
Yeah. And let me say, that's the way to do it, if you can.
Wow. If you don't mind me asking, do we have a buried dog? What do we do?
They cremate it.
They cremate the dog.
Yes, and you're given the option to get the ashes back.
What's going to be your choice?
Our choice is to not.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like I don't even know if I want my mom's ashes because she wasn't cremated. That's the thing that bothers me.
Yeah, we have full hearts and cell phones to remember Clyde.
I don't get that, the cell phone part.
It's filled with pictures of Clyde.
Oh, okay. Now, don't get mad at me now. You were mad at me on Monday, and I was...
Monday?
Oh, I have so many funny things to tell you about Monday because you were under so much stress. Can I tell you my favorite one?
Sure.
Okay, my favorite one was, I start telling you... You know how you're worried about something?
Is this when
you don't necessarily...
Is this when you told me that Pet Sounds is good?
Exactly. So,
that I stand by. I think I would have had that reaction on any day.
You know how you feel. You know how like you're not in the mood to talk about things when things are, when bad things are happening. You don't want to make small talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Right.
So, to you, hearing that Marvelous song. So here's what he said to me. That's one of the greatest songs of all time. That's the first thing he said to me.
Yeah.
And then I said, I may not always love you. We know the lyrics. We know the lyrics. And then it would be like, I don't know what you're trying to pull. I don't know if singing is coming after this, but not today and maybe never.
My thought was, God only knows how I could do without you right now.
You know, Josh, I'm not on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook for a long time.
Yeah, I haven't been on ever, so.
So was Allison I assume she was talking about this on Facebook.
I assume she was too.
Oh, you haven't.
She was. Yes, she was.
So that's how our friends found out about it, right?
Yes.
Oh boy.
So yeah, it was a hard week, but and things are weird, because like he was the doorbell guy.
Oh, okay.
These remaining two, they're interested in the doorbell, but it's not that big a deal.
How old is Lucky again? I know you said 10.
Lucky's like 12.
Oh, is Lucky? Would you say Lucky has generally been healthier?
Lucky has been, yes. I would say that she has not been a high health maintenance dog. Clyde, on the other hand, had a lot of shit go down in his life. Clyde was a deep into 5 figures dog, but he was worth every penny.
Right. Now, I'm not going to say that the fact that you're Jewish and brought up the money this soon after is indicative of anything, but
no, I think it's indicative that if we could have thrown money to make him better, we would have. We would have. Yes. We've done it in the past.
When did you have the big operation?
I think it was 3 years ago.
Okay.
Our listeners could tell us too. But
so the wrong thing
and it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it for 3 years.
Those are 3 wonderful years.
Walk. Yes.
Yeah, and to walk for 3 wonderful years.
I would pay for 3 years of walking that much.
If only you could. If only yours could be they can solve your dog's walking problems.
Yes.
What kind of a world do we live in when we? Yeah. So I remember when the thing happened with the. What was the exact problem? I forgot what it was. Slip disc? No.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, horribly.
Something slipping.
Slip disc to the point of paralysis. Yes.
And I remember you said to me, "It's 50." You over exaggerated, but you kind of gave me the idea that it could be, if not 50 grand.
No,
it could have been like 10 to 20 grand.
It was certainly 10 to 20 grand. Yes.
Before they cut it down?
No, I mean, I think the emergency price was like 17. Oh my God. And then we went, we're not going to give you the emergency price. We'll just give you the regular price of like 14 and change, I think it was.
These people seem very nice. Without, I'm not giving the name, but these people seem like you really like them, the hospital there.
Well, they saved our dog. And,
yeah.
I didn't feel like they were shaking me down. I just felt like it was like, we're getting one of the most expensive dog surgeries is what I felt like.
Well, with all the true crime that's around.
And it was actually kind of nice because it was during the pandemic, so we had to wait in our car for everything, which was much easier, much better, really, than waiting in the waiting room.
Oh, that's right. I'm imagining that true crime. There's got to be somebody who's ripping off people who's a veterinarian. Oh, you got to do it.
Like our vet, like the vet we go to on the regular. Like this was an emergency hospital when they did the spinal surgery. It was a specialist,
right.
But the vets that we have are like really high priced, I would say, but very upfront about their pricing.
Right.
Like they as soon as they say they need to do something, they give you the price it's going to be. Good.
And you never took your dogs down to Mexico, from what I
no,
I felt like saying that. Well, I'm very sorry, Josh. It's very sad. I've been very sad all week.
Yeah,
been walking around your house a little bit. Not really, but thinking about you when I get in the neighborhood.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your checking in.
Me checking in after the second week becomes, I get it, Andy. I'm not going to say you weren't there. You were there.
You were so there for me. Yes.
Does that work?
It does.
Yes, buddy. Anything else I can, buddy? Can I get you something from Gold Belly?
That would have been nice. Some food would have been nice.
He just said some food would have been nice. Why can't you join? All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to reveal one thing that I was going to do. I was going to send you a DoorDash gift certificate, and then Susan and I agreed that.
That would have been
why
weird.
Is that?
Yeah, no, that would have
been weird. That would have been weird, honey.
Yeah. Gift certificate's weird.
But even like, I see.
Yeah. If you would have picked a thing, you went.
Yeah, but
this calls for jelly donuts from Cleveland.
He says if we picked one thing, like this calls for jelly donuts from Cleveland for Josh and Allison. I just want to say, here's other things that went through my mind that I know are wrong.
Yeah.
Gift certificates to a Chewy or something.
Yeah.
Chewy.
That would have been, that would have been
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I mean, the instinct is good. Do something nice is a good instinct.
Right. But hasn't have to be dog oriented.
It doesn't have to be
pet oriented.
Yeah. And it doesn't, and gift certificates are weird in this situation.
The worst. They may be the worst. They may be the worst. You know, when you saw me that time,
like a gift to a dog charity, if you're going to do a certificate-based thing, would be.
Oh, that's right.
But
that's right.
I don't get jelly donuts from Cleveland that way.
I want to let you know that the time that I had the ice cream problem, I have an ice cream church. I think was going there to buy some gift certificates for somebody
at Pavilion
at that time. That visit to the thing was one of those days where you go, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good at giving, and I'm up to date. I probably got them for the people at my agency. I used to get my agency or management or whatever the company is called.
Yeah, when times were still good.
What do you mean? Have you? Oh, just to let you know. This is. I'm just telling you this. I don't want this to go outside of the room. I've known Zoe for about 40 years. Right. And I'm not saying
this is Zoe Friedman.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that she is spacing me out or whatever, or I'm not even saying she might have sent me an email I didn't receive. But about 5 days ago, I said, after 4 to 5 emails back and forth over a month and a half, I said, just one more time, just checking to see. Because they kept saying, first they said, Robin Trans. I'm not familiar with him. Of course, they have him at the festival. So
it's trans.
So
by the way,
what did I say?
You said trans, plural.
You know what? I shouldn't be talking about people. I shouldn't be involved in issues. So Robin Tran, and so I've been talking to Robin Tran, telling her what's going on, giving her the updates, right? And then 5 days ago, haven't heard back from Zoe, which I said, just checking back one more time. Because first Zoe said, send me some tapes. So I sent her everything. She loved it. She's very funny. Very, very, very funny. Very funny. Then they said, is there anybody, I think I told you this, right?
Yeah.
Is there anybody else you see for the job?
Right.
And then,
that's when you tensed up. That's when your duodenum clenched.
And then just the old, what do you call that? The heave-ho, the okie dokie when you don't respond.
Blow off. It's a blow off.
It's a blow off. I don't blame her. I don't like to respond with no either.
Yeah. I think someone said, or we could just not do it anymore.
That's what it was, yes. Because I saw one of those day programs. Well, that's what I assumed. It would be like, it's such a huge organization in all the wrong ways. In other words, if an event, it's such a festival event.
Right.
If it should have been as simple as, this would be a funny idea. Let's do this idea and see if it took off, right? But they're like, how does this fit into our philosophy of the festival and to the heart of the thing? Or they just don't care. I think it's also money saving. It's always money saving with them.
Sure.
They have a reputation of not being lavishly generous with their money.
Right. Which is true of most festivals.
What? Most festivals.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I used to draw my line. I drew the line at one of those festivals. Susan drew it for me. She said, you can't go anymore. There's like things where they don't pay anything. Yeah. It's crazy.
Right.
And that happened way before the pandemic, and it made me feel like all those last years where I was going out, at least I was making money.
This was the joke. By the way, this is the joke I was going to do about Clyde. The bad news is we lost Clyde. The good news is he always wanted to see the Titanic.
You know, when you hear that James Cameron is making a lot of sense, that's how you know something is bad.
Yeah.
I can't even believe this would be like, I've got bad news and I've got worse news. You probably won't make it.
All right.
We haven't tested it before.
All right.
It's $250 million.
Thousand.
Oh. But still, isn't that for you, that's nothing. But
right.
You're paying. What are you paying for? Are you getting a meal with that? I mean, what are you paying for?
It was just such a crazy week of watching people respond to this thing. Of just
yes, that was crazy, right? How big it became.
Well, yeah, and you just hate everybody. It's one of those, like, the people who are like, let's put every billionaire under the ocean. You know, you hate those people. You hate the people who are scolding those people for their people going through something here. It's like, yeah. You mean,
how about the one guy who said he was going to go?
The only negative feeling I have about any of these people is the guy who brought his kid. I think that's fucked up.
That's right. Everyone relates to him
everyone else knew what they were getting into. It's no different than going on Elon Musk's spaceship, as far as I'm concerned, you know. And it went from being like a horrible way to die,
right,
to like a kind of an awesome way to die. You're on an adventure, and it said a fraction of a millisecond is how long it takes for that thing to implode.
Right, I like that.
That's not bad. A fraction of a millisecond.
No, I don't want any suffering. But I'll take that.
Yeah, it's way better than sitting in a fucking tube at the bottom of the ocean for 5 days waiting to die.
Oh, I didn't want not that scenario, especially with your father there.
Right, exactly.
See, I wouldn't have been like his father. My father would have been.
I just want you to know, Andy, just how stupid you are. Stop breathing, stupid. You're killing me.
Hey, Dad, you've had the oxygen mask on yourself for 3 hours. Can you give it to me? I don't think it's about securing it to yourself. Get out of here. Get the fuck out. No, he doesn't talk that way.
No.
But he
did in this bit, though, and it was fun.
The last thing that we remember from my father was that he was rubbing the head of the child of the... Dad, the kid's 21. What are they going to do to me? What are they going to do to me? Okay, this is what I call, I hope to God, and I apologize if any people either involved with the submersible or relatives who are listening to this, don't listen to this.
The other thing I was going to say is, did you see, like, Mike Reese talking about it? Mike, the Simpsons writer of Gene and Reese.
Oh, no.
He had gone on this expedition last year.
Are you kidding me?
He went on this actual one. And so he was on TV several times this past week talking about it. And it's just like, think of how fucking different the tone of this would have been if Simpsons writer lost at sea, you know? Instead of fucking billionaires.
Well, that's why I think that when I could have died with Steve Forbes, and I thought I would never make it, you know, I was on one of those C-1. What did I go on to? I landed on a ship.
Oh, yeah.
It was with a C-130, and Steve Forbes was on there with me.
Yeah.
And I just I would not get any play from that. And obscure Jewish comic. Not even that comic.
Right.
Be Steve Forbes, wall-to-wall Steve Forbes.
Right. You're right.
Is he still alive?
I don't know.
I think he is.
Maybe.
Oh, Josh, it has been quite a week. You think it's just been... what did you get today? Does everything look good that you got today?
I got...
Did they install them?
They did. No, it's a long way from installation.
Oh, okay.
Because I got a bunch of doors and like sliding doors and windows that are being replaced, but they couldn't
I'm just putting it out there.
They couldn't tell me when they were going to be ready. There was like, it could be 4 or 5 months. And then it was like, you know, so you can't really line up your installer with
right.
That. So
right.
then they go,
yeah.
Then they call last Friday. I go, we got your stuff. You got to take it next week. And I go, well, fuck. Well, okay, but my installer's not coming for 3 weeks. So.
Well, I think this all traces back to when the cable guy would come to fix your cable. it's the customer's not always right in this country. Mostly, it's a miracle to get the person on the phone if there's a problem.
Yeah.
But it's not.
The good news is that it does appear that it's all the correct things I ordered. So.
Good. And also the cable company stepped up too. They can send it in within a 2-hour window now.
It's true.
Also, I want to say, and I know people, especially my wife, gets sick of me talking about Spectrum, but I can't. I mean, this will not stand. You have Spectrum. Uh-huh. That means you have cable. Uh-huh. That means that you have to watch unless you're watching in the past, you have to watch their commercials. Uh-huh. And then when you go on demand, where did Josh go?
What? I'm sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I thought you got hurt.
If I nodded off or had a stroke.
All right, let's go to the questions.
All right.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Oh, boy. Oh, what I was going to say to you, and this is not the right time to talk about these things, but does Lucky know what's going on, or Miss Clyde?
No, she's being mostly sociopathic about it, I would say. But
right.
Well, what we did, we did the euthanizing at home, and it was, we don't have to take you through the whole last moments,
right.
But once he had passed, we let the other 2 dogs in to sniff him and.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And understand kind of what's going down, so that they.
I'm so glad.
So as much closure as you can give a dog, we did the best we could.
Is that something you just thought of on your own, or is that something that?
Actually, both. I thought of it on my own, and then they said yes. That's they suggested you do that at the end.
I think you are the dog whisperer. The other couple weeks ago when you went, fellas, boom.
It was like last week. I had the Fonzie thing. It was Clyde.
Yeah.
I shouted Clyde.
Oh, it was Clyde.
It was Clyde's final appearance on the show, sadly.
He loves us.
He does.
Pickle says, I follow Michael Stipe on Instagram. Well, that must be a one-way street. That's what I just said. He was once a wonderfully pretentious rock star, but his feed is now full of wonderfully wholesome shots of sometimes famous friends he hangs with and food he's eaten. I like him and his music. I wish he toured again. It's hard sometimes to get heartfelt, for me to get my head in the space of a heartfelt Pickles letter. You know what I mean?
Right.
I always say consider the source. But I think the good thing about that...
You just hate characters. You hate characters. You really do. It's clear.
I hate characters?
Yeah, like Pickles Sorrell. You hate it.
Because I used to do Pickles. Every Halloween I goddamn came to Halloween as Pickles. And this asshole comes along. No, because Michael Stipe, like my friend Alex Reed, the writer, he loves Michael. He turned me on to REM, or we both commiserated about it. And I said, I just love him. And I contacted him recently, and he said, you missed the years where he would wear a red mask on stage. I guess so. I guess he's an eccentric fella, Michael Stipe.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear he's hanging around and enjoying people. Because I always thought he was kind of like I wouldn't want to talk to him if I got backstage. I'd be the last one even though I love him.
Yeah. I think
he's foreboding.
I think you would seek his approval desperately.
Yeah. I'm like, do you remember when you wrote, Andy, are you goofing on Elvis? I'm an Andy Kaufman fan as well.
Also, my name is Andy.
And my name is Andy.
Andy 5 cents.
Michael, this might be too much, but would you ever see yourself writing a song about Andy Kindler?
Andy, are you goofing on Leno?
Andy, are you goofing on Leno? Are you thinking Tim Allen still is a jerk? Oh, that was the first time I actually got the full rush of when you've composed a parody song, just for that 1 second.
Fantastic, without having to go to a chorus even. That's nice.
Right. Because once you get going with that, you don't want to stop.
You don't want to stop. It feels too successful. Dan Marsh says, "Hey guys, what's your earliest memory?" About 7 o'clock this morning.
Oh, you dog. You.
My earliest memory is probably age 2. I have crib memories, certainly.
Wow. I don't have that. I have about the same age, but like out with my grandmother at a candy store or something like that.
Something like that. That feels fake to me. Out with my grandmother at a candy store.
Josh, I get these stories from Podcaster Illustrated. They say a good podcaster never reveals his true life. But here's something you could say.
Getting a chocolate phosphate at the soda counter with Granny.
She's dead now, thanks.
Yeah, everyone is.
And thanks for the candy, Grandma, type 2 diabetes.
Candy Grandma.
Candy Grandma. PD, oh, by the way, I think I made a mistake. It's just a small mistake. But I direct messaged Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
And I said, Rob Schneider is a despicable asshole. I'm sorry, I just had to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
Well, what am I hoping he's going to get from that?
I don't know. Especially since Judd doesn't really do Rob Schneider.
What do you mean?
I mean, why are you knocking on Judd's door about Rob Schneider?
Because he has to see him at all these different events. He's always seeing him at the Sandler events.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm not saying he sponsored. What I want him to go is, that guy's driving me crazy, which wouldn't matter anyway.
Yeah. Did he write you back though?
No.
Yeah.
Why would he?
I don't know.
It's a stupid thing of me to do. BDUS says, guys, I wish I was funnier for you as well as for me. Do you ever feel this way? Or do you feel just the right amount of funny? I can speak before Josh, or maybe not. I do think anybody who's makes a living or tries to make a living from comedy is disappointed in their level of comedy at many times. Well, maybe
I go a different way. I feel like
Okay.
funny's never the problem for me. I have many other shortcomings in my creative arsenal, but I always jokes are never my concern. Story is my concern. Character is my concern because I can always go back and find a joke.
Right. That's good. That means that's great.
But I'm not saying I'm the most hilarious person on earth. But I am saying that that's not what I worry about.
I think you're the most hilarious person on earth, and here's the thing: I think it's good that you don't get the yips.
I think
right.
And as I know, the darker things are, the more jokes I have is generally my case too. Like, how much do you tip someone to come over and kill your dog?
What? That's a great joke. See, the reason why that's a great joke, and why you can, I hope you do that joke, is because it's hilarious.
I just did.
Oh, wait. But did you just come up with it?
No, I came up with it when the person was over killing my dog.
Right. What did you go with?
Huh?
How much?
How much was it to kill the dog?
No, how much?
How much was the tip? I did not tip. It's an actual veterinarian. So.
Oh. Here's what I'd like to see. An embarrassed doctor running away from your $20 bill.
Although the tip may have been included, for all I know. I wasn't really...
Well, he's not doing it for his own... he wasn't...
There was a she, and she was.
Why do I have to say?
She was gentle and loving, and the perfect person to do it. Because Allison woke up Tuesday, like, all right, we got to call and find someone. And I was listening to her leaving messages for people, and one of them said the phrase "fur baby" like 4 fucking times.
What did it say?
Tell us the name of your fur baby and the little. And
I don't understand that. You have
fur baby. People call their pets a fur baby.
Allison is?
No, the person whose service is to come euthanize your pet. Their outgoing message is,
so you could hear
leave the name of your fur baby and what she's suffering for and their weight, and I'll call you back. I was like, honey, don't leave a message for that person, please.
Did Allison laugh at that?
Yeah. Well, she didn't laugh, but she agreed.
Fur baby. I thought I got this crazy thing that Allison was so emotional that she wanted to find someone to come and put her,
she was, but she was not.
But no one calls their own dog
yes,
a
they
fur
do.
baby.
They do.
They do?
Yes, but not my kind of people. And not the kind of people I want in my hour of sorrow.
You're not only
or however that word should be properly said.
It's not only inappropriate, it's just you're anthropomorphizing an animal. Why can't it just be a wonderful little cuddly thing? I don't even like I hate anything that's four-legged. I used to host that show, thank you, The Pet Shop, and I must have heard our four-legged friends, our furry friends, our four-legged furry furries.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I thought we were on the same page for a second, but it's like, what am I trying to talk to him for?
I don't know. It's like a wall. Clarity Repa. So we know it's an adventure. Andy, misery porn is just what everyone has if they look around them. It's not just a strip, bridge, or tunnel just out of sight from the man. It is maybe 2% permanently unhoused. The U.S. House says 580,000, so we know it's 10 times as bad. 6 million castaways.
Well, I have to like that one.
You do?
Well, it's
on the side of homeless people, clearly, but beyond that.
Right, and also, interesting, ironically, had some clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes clarity does what I think is a stream of clarity.
It's a little bit of Dada Repa. Yeah.
Exactly.
Pickles is back.
Oh, my God. I can't believe it.
To say, I have to break format. Last week, Andy said I was mailing it in, and I suppose to hear it from the master takes a bit of the sting away.
Does that mean the master of somebody who mails it in?
I think so.
I think you're right, Pickles. Pickles, I would get upset if it wasn't so true what you're saying. I don't mail it in on every show, and I don't mail it in. I mail it in, I think. That's what I want on my gravestone. He mailed it in.
Yeah. Stephen L. Yates says, please rank the following snack cake manufacturers based on your favorites. Hostess, Dolly Madison, Little Debbie, Drake's, and Tasty Cakes. I can't because I don't have a working knowledge of Drake's, Tasty Cakes, or even really Dolly Madison for that matter.
Is Twinkies Hostess?
Hostess is Twinkies, yes.
Yeah, well, that's terrible. Drake's, I only have childhood memories that I love.
Okay, so Drake's is number one.
Nation number one. Tasty Cake, I didn't even think was a thing. A Hostess number two. And then doesn't even matter.
I'm going to put Little Debbie above Hostess for me personally because I do love the Little Debbie Nutty Bar still to this day.
Oh. I never knew you had a creaky chair in my entire life.
Interesting point.
That's the way you were on Monday. It's Jason Parton all the way. Do Parton.
It's Jason Parton all the way down.
Okay. In the last 2 weeks, two things have been happening on my Twitter feed. A ton more ads. True.
True.
Two, a ton more fake accounts following me. That, I have them not following me. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I know it's true for you. At least the fakes are easy to ignore, but these ads are ridiculous. Well, you don't like Prager University? It's not just the Twitter, it's the commercials that get me. You are right. You are, and it's like a million of them, literally, in between every reply. That's a little much.
It's a lot.
If I was paying for it, but I'm not paying for it. I expect it's going to be over in 2 weeks, and I'm into that mode if I don't care anymore.
Fair enough.
And I never cared. I cared too much about it.
You cared a lot. You cared a lot.
I cared too much.
All right. I think that's true. I think I cared too much for a time.
Right.
But even my caring too much didn't really compare to your.
No, I lived in it. I lived as if I was in a Twitter prison.
Yes. Welcome back to the world, my friend.
Well, no. I have to announce today. I did find a home.
Yeah.
I'm going to plant-based comedy. Hey, huh? Hey, should I watch this movie I recorded on TCM? It's Charlie Chaplin, and he's coming to the city. He's the king. He's the
Prince
king.
in the city? Is it a
No, he's the king and something. He's the king.
Yeah. No, you shouldn't.
Okay, how about
Charlie Chaplin does not write dialogue well.
Naked City?
Don't know Naked City.
Girlfriends, a movie about a photographer, 1977.
What's happening?
Wait a second. Is this online?
Is this DVR dump day? What is happening?
This isn't Blockbuster? Okay, forget that. That was just a momentary lapse. Are you going to do Clarity the second time?
Sure,
is that where we are?
I asked people not to bogart their questions and share them, and she said, Bogart? Easy Rider? 17 months of campaign ads ahead. What's your number one way to forget it's election time again? And then there's a bunch of hashtags and shit. So let's stick with that.
Okay.
What is your best? So not watching TV is really the best way. And not donating to people who ask me constantly.
I would like to thank our friend Josh Mankiewicz for creating new programming on Peacock. And as I told him online, as my wife and I agree, he makes you feel good in the midst of a horrible world.
Yeah.
He makes you feel good, even when he's doing murder. And they have a new show on Peacock, The Last Day. What were they doing? I don't know. Why am I making it sound like Oscar Levant?
Johnny Whoop says, what's the deal with airline food?
He's right.
The Lighthearter says, well, that's it. I'm canceling my trip to the Mariana Trench. Mariana Trench.
I appreciate when the Lighthearter gives us our own delivery back.
Yes.
Is that where this is?
No.
Oh. So it's a joke based on... Okay, forget that.
Yes, undersea exploration in general is fair game right now.
Okay, I don't know what the Mariana Trench is. Is it a really horrible tragedy?
No, it's just the deepest spot of the ocean in the Pacific.
When you went...
And what's his face? Cameron went to the bottom of the Mariana Trench in a one-person thingy.
Who?
James Cameron, who we spoke about earlier.
I thought you said Cameron, and I'm watching a show. I'm watching a show called Love at First. Love is Love Blind, and there's a Cameron on there.
Oh, again, good story.
How could I know what you're... my compliments to who is ever working with you on your sleep impressions. It's really good. Nico says, is that Nico from Velvet Underground?
I think so.
Nico says, Andy, are you going to sing a full song on Bob's Burgers? Oh, God, would I love to? Yes. But what would be the content? Weekends at Mort's. It's a weekend at Mort's. Hey, Josh, have you heard that?
Funereal karaoke.
Hey, Josh, you know what I've been listening to this week is that a lot of the Beach Boys stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fan-fucking-tastic, Andy. That's just great.
And the song God Only Knows. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
I like when you mix up your negative reactions. Seth Dick III says, the thing about Rogan, Mama Dick III says, I keep thinking he hides his own opinions behind a fictional character. That's my take.
All right.
The thing about Rogan, Mama Dick III says, is that he's so fucking funny when he isn't talking about crazy stuff, and that's too bad we have this wrong impression, because deep down, he is hilarious. Thoughts? Okay, that's just sarcasm, right? That's just sarcasm, or someone who's never seen comedy before.
It could be. Mama Dick III doesn't get out much.
Mama Dick, he used to say, this was his act. Yeah, and you ever see one of these animals have sex? And then he would do the sound of the animal having sex.
Whoa, Walt Nauta just changed the pronunciation of his name to Nauta.
Nauta.
From Nauta. I
like that.
And he wants to know, have you ever visited a person in prison? Would you consider doing so in the future? Hang in there, Walt.
Look, Walt, I don't know. Do you think it'd be funny if Walt turns against him right before the trial or now? Which is funnier? Or he's never going to do it. He might never do it. Some people like that.
I think people would rather have... I think if you have MAGA world behind you, ultimately you're going to come out profiting because they are some rude motherfuckers.
Yeah. And you have to... He believes... He's not just a true believer. This is what his whole life is now, Walt Nauta.
Right.
I don't know what his original story was.
I think Nauta Pack is around the corner. Right. BD West says, "Oh, Hal, write an original joke in the style of Andy Kindler. I'm not saying I'm bad at math, but I once tried to calculate the tip on a $20 bill and ended up with a mortgage payment." Andy Bing Chat AI Kindler. Bet it can't write a song as good as Karen, though. Am I right?
Man, I like this was a beautiful question. I like when someone really captures my voice and goes grammatically. I mean, not just grammatically, goes with what is the stuff? The punctuationally. It's punctuationally happening.
Yeah. Bing. That Bing can write.
I mean, I'm not saying my career hasn't gone anywhere, but I got a call from someone who was dead 30 years ago and had failed at vaudeville who said, "Oh, no, your career's bad."
Was that Chat AI as well?
Yeah.
Scott Allen says, "I may have mistaken a Dana Gould bit for a Kevin Meaney bit, but I found 2 more ginger ale Zevia in my fridge when I thought I'd run out. I consider that a wash."
Well, Scott Allen, I got to tell you something. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go, I know Josh doesn't like to talk about exactly what medication levels he's at and everything.
Yeah.
I was very invested emotionally in Dr. Zevia, which I think is the same company.
Yeah.
Zevia.
That was Planet of the Apes, wasn't it?
And I don't like their stuff anymore. I'm so past. I'm into the Virgil. I'm into Olipop.
Are these all artificially
soders?
Sweetened?
No. They all have
just drinking straight sugar soda.
No.
All right.
They all have stevia or some brand of
I just
regular.
said that. Artificial.
That's not
sugar?
artificial.
Yes, it is. Don't be silly.
No. It's an actual leaf. It's a leaf in nature.
Processed through chemicals. Come on. Grow up.
Look, I really don't know that what you're saying is true, but I don't want to get involved with you because you're in a mourning period. I'll argue with you about this. Naked comedy. Oh, I love naked comedy. I mean, I love Sam. What does true relaxing look like for each of you? And thanks for writing the informal I don't know. I think that's one of my problems, actually.
Yeah.
Is not really knowing how to relax.
I have. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if I have pure relaxation. Could you tell her to fucking hold it down? No,
I told her right because I told her feel free to.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Do not. That was an earphone joke. That was not to be shared outside the earphones. The most relaxed feeling I feel is when I've just handed in a script. Like I feel actively just top of the world at that moment.
But you don't before they've read
it.
Then.
Before they've read it.
Oh, before they've read it.
Yeah.
But that means that's describing a feeling,
right?
Whereas opposed to this, I think is more like.
But no, it's a truly relaxed feeling.
Right, but can you also do that with a hammock, or do you do anything?
It doesn't. No, I don't need that.
What does true relaxing look like? Oh, I see. It's the moment. It
looks like
TFW.
My face after I've turned in a script or something.
Well, that doesn't seem like it's something that can even last.
It can't. It's very fleeting. It's very fleeting.
Not a lifelong.
It's very fleeting. No, it's not. I probably should get a better device than working for something for months.
Yes. I'm having trouble.
No shit. Oh, what?
What? I don't know about that. Seems like I'm having really trouble sleeping, like worse than ever. And I made some changes.
Yeah.
And it's sad that I had to talk to my therapist to make this change. Two therapists have both. The one has already been encouraging this, but this was like, I have to stop drinking coffee or taking Adderall earlier in the day. It would seem like Sleep 101, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I feel like I've given you this advice before as well.
Well, no, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that you didn't give it to me, and I'm not saying it's not sage advice, but
you're saying
it's now an emergency.
Oh,
no, it's an emergency.
I'm sorry.
So I did it last night, and it worked even for one night.
Really?
It's just so weird that after, I'd say 2:00, I've chosen 2:00.
Good.
And then hopefully it'll get lower. And then here's the other thing I'm doing. I'm doing all the Adderall in between. Here's what I realized I was doing. I was taking the Adderall, hoping it would wake me up. Then it wouldn't do the right enough for me. Then I'd take another one 3 hours later, hoping it would wake me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's not what you should be using Adderall for. You're using it as speed as opposed to ADD, man. You are using. You
don't know who listens to this. Do you know not only my probation officer?
As someone who can't get any, who needs it for ADD, I'm a little resentful of the way you're using your Adderall.
Do you really can't get any?
No.
Why?
Because the pharmacy says, nope, you're fucked.
Oh, no, I'm talking about, but they have it back in now.
They don't, according to my thing, but I have to get a new thing now. So
No, it's back in. Not only is it back in stock, I go through.
It's better than ever.
No, I go through concierge.
Oh,
that's CVS now, the concierge service.
Yeah.
All right, kids, keep it going. Are you going to yell at me if we don't get through this?
I am. Dan Marsh says regular listeners know that you guys have a variety of skills in the realm of entertainment. But aside from cooking, Josh, what other talents do you possess that might surprise us? Is Josh a ham radio operator? Does Andy macrame cozies for bongs? No, I pretty much pour everything into the arts. I mean, I can fix a toilet, but that's a skill, not a talent, really.
It's I can fix a toilet if it's the same thing that keeps going out on the same toilet that I learned on 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Boom. But I think that's good. That's a good talent.
I've replaced every part of a toilet since the beginning of the pandemic now. Chaotic neutral. I'm sorry.
My sister was a ham radio fan. That's all I wanted to say. Okay, go ahead.
TV dinners killed ham radio.
It's so terrible. It's like being locked in a room with a guy who used to write joke books.
Chaotic Neutral says, hey guys, turns out my new neighbor is bothered by the smell of weed and I've been smoking, like a lot. It's allowed in the courtyard, however, so now I stick my head out the kitchen window and smoke outside. I wouldn't call it classy, though. Got any advice?
I have advice.
Share it.
Well, in my case, it was because literally, unless I wanted to kill Susan, it was literally like the smoke is killing her. All right, it just for some reason she likes the smell of pot, like theoretically, but the actual smoke makes her cough and stuff like that. So I finally, after I think years of going, well, no, does it really? And then using one of those smoke busters and all these things, I never smoke indoors anymore.
Well, that's not good advice, really. Anyone, he's asking for some help to smoke indoors.
So what I'm saying is, okay, here's what I'm thinking. Why should I apply my solution to him? I feel better that I don't smoke it indoors anymore.
Yeah.
For some reason, like I am an addict. So for some reason, not smoking it indoors is another way that I can
Mitigate.
mitigate the effects of it. Why am I getting like a
Quiet
storm?
I don't know. Maybe a quiet storm.
Eastside 76 says, guys, I was initially excited about this Zuckerberg Musk UFC fight, but I have a bad feeling that whoever wins, we lose. I haven't even heard of this. Is he making fun?
They had challenged each other. Elon Musk challenged Zuckerberg to a cage match. And Zuckerberg said, where and when, motherfucker? And Musk said, the Octagon in Vegas. And yeah, supposedly they're going to fight each other.
Oh, God. They're both charisma free. At least
I would like to see them
Zuckerberg
fight each other in a carbon fiber diving bell.
Very good. What is it? Why is it Tom? Look, I like Tommy Chong. You love Tommy Chong. Why every other? What? How much is this costing him? And I think it's overkill.
I have a different ad.
What's yours?
Mine's Magic Leap. Go beyond physical limitations and embrace a new era of immersive learning using AR with Avrio and Magic Leap.
You look like a copy guy on the radio just the day he's going to commit suicide.
Good.
And I'll back to you 10-10
That
wins.
is the subtlety of the character that I didn't know would come through, and it did. I'm glad.
Josh sighed in relief. I can't read these things.
Josh sighed in relief. Gentgis?
Yes. We hear comedians talk about a good 5 minutes. What does that mean, and how do you build it? I say you build it right from scratch. From the first time you ever go on stage, you're trying to build your first 5 minutes. And the only reason why you're trying to build it is because you've already accomplished your first 1 minute. So I say you even try and do it less.
Wow, you had a steam.
I was doing good there.
You just lemminged yourself off a cliff.
Oh my God, I was doing so good that I realized, what the fuck am I talking about? Take it away, Joshua.
The good 5 minutes is the first step of becoming a comic. That's your first goal.
Right.
And that just means 5 minutes that'll work every time in any place. It's your calling card. It's your initial calling card is that first 5 minutes because you're going to open mics. You're going to all these places where people don't know you. And if you've got that solid 5 minutes, that will open a door for you.
In the old days, we used to call it your how do you do. Okay, I just had to throw it.
It was also the basis for a television set as well in the 70s and 80s was the 5 to 7 minute set. So
that became the industry standard. I'm going to do a clarity ripper. What do you want me to do?
Let's just let's skip that one because it's hard.
Okay.
It's hard to. Is that a dog on your end?
It's her phone.
Oh, okay.
I had to tell him. we love that. For some reason, she really loves that. We didn't just start it this week.
Just to taunt me? He didn't do it?
No, not a taunt. It would never be a taunt. Yeah. She can't stop it with the pranks about stuff. That's the way she is. She writes for The Onion.
I heard she was going to send me a Chewy gift certificate. Like, so cruel.
I was going to send you a dog bone. I mean, what am I thinking at some point?
Finally, you throw me a bone.
Christopher Citro says, how many questions are there?
There's a lot, and then there's a lot on another platform. So
okay, you'll read those.
All right.
Christopher Citro says, up in the Adirondacks for a week, and in a restaurant, 8 a.m., the sound of Supertramp. Take the long way home. Wasps from the kitchen, followed by a woman's voice. My idea of morning wake-up music is Aerosmith. What's your guys' idea of morning wake-up music? Aerosmith, 65 degrees downtown Los Angeles, coming up in a half hour, begin to wait some Aerosmith tickets. I don't like anything. I don't want to rock out in the morning. No, I just want to wake up nicely.
It's pretty much the NPR Morning Edition theme. It's kind of my morning music.
I like classical music. I like to wake up to
You like an overture. That's how I know that about you. No one likes an overture like Kindler in the morning.
I like
Kindler in the morning.
I like a jazz 88.9 in the morning. But that boogie boop boop. Richard woke as do you have something to say?
No, I don't.
Richard woke AF Cole. Hi Josh, I cooked rotini with bolognese sauce for dinner last night. It was great. What are you cooking this weekend?
I don't know what I'm cooking this weekend. I know we're going out to dinner tonight with Tony DeSena. Spoiler, Tony DeSena and his wife.
Cool. Wait, you can say Tony DeSena and his wife?
Yes.
Is this new?
This is.
Really? Oh my God. Well, he's the first person we want to go out when we leave. We're almost ready to do a post-pandemic, starting to meet people for dinner. That's the first person we want to. So please send my love to him.
You just did.
And his wife. That's so. Maybe he told me. I think he told me he got married. Maybe, but just recently he told me.
Yeah, I think you're lying.
The Perush says, Andy again with the Titanic humor. I think that's really funny, don't you?
Sure.
I don't like that.
NLP says, Josh, how's your back, if I can ask? 2 days ago, my husband had a bilateral L5 laminotomy after years of pain. What are your thoughts on the 1 to 10 pain scale used by doctors? I find it unhelpful. What is a 6 supposed to mean? I think a better pain scale would be no pain, some pain but manageable. I need some meds for the pain. I need everything you can give me. Well, the thing is the pain scale is kind of dumb, but it does make sense if you think about it in terms of pain is a totally subjective thing. So one man's 8 is another man's 5, you know. Right. So the doctors can only gauge if you're getting better in terms of your own perception. So if you're saying it's an 8 when you come in, and then a month later you're saying it's a 6, it's objectively better, you know.
That makes sense. You're a man, if nothing, who is not rational and logical. But I didn't mean that the way it came out.
It seemed snarky, yeah.
Yeah, it was unnecessarily snarky.
Sounds like me. So yeah, I hope your husband's better. My back is not better, but I've turned a corner in terms of what we're chasing now, I think.
Oh, interesting.
I'll get back to you on that.
On the new normal. Why did I have to cheapen it?
I don't know. All
right, I think we're going to exit this. And thank you. Oh, wait, is there one more? No, that's it. Right?
I think so.
Finally,
if there isn't, I consider it an acceptable loss.
And now we go to the other area, which will be narrated by your host, Josh Elvis Weinstein, who will then at the end hang up on me, but he has to do it this week in a new and original way. Take it away, Josh.
All right. Sunsafel says, Andy, do you think you could spring a wood if some really nasty schniz went down?
What the hell? Wait, hold on a second. I'm trying to find our page. Jesus Christ, that made me a little sick. Okay. Oh my God, you made me sick now. Okay, now go ahead. I'm going to try and keep up with where you are, although we don't have the same thing. Go ahead. Take it away.
All right. I already did. Go ahead and take it away. And
okay, it's not
screeching halted it.
Why don't you do it again, just for Pop?
No, I'm moving on.
Please call me Papa.
Pop. Can I call you Pop?
Hey, Pop. Is that Popo? Who's Popo? That's the guy,
right?
That's
the police. That's the man. Is the Popo?
No. Who killed his son and kept calling him Pawpaw?
Oh, that was
Murtaugh.
Yeah, Murdaugh.
But I think that's a tell. It almost is like snarky in a way. Pawpaw. Yeah, Pawpaw. You got. What do you think would happen? All right, let's continue on. No, first it was like Pawpaw. Look, can you put a proviso in there for me?
A proviso?
Yeah, because I didn't get the question. So either you're going to have to ask it again, or
I don't want to. I really just want to move forward, and you're stopping.
Let's move forward. I'm here for you now.
Right.
My apologies to the chef.
Moldylock says, and here I thought Johnny Carson was the bland Johnny Carson. which is obviously in relation to
was
something.
Jimmy Dore?
Maybe. I don't think so. That would have been giving him way too much credit and decency.
Well, I think that's what he was, I said. That's what he was. That's what he wanted to be.
Daisy Petunia says, what's a showbiz example of catastrophic implosion? Bill Cosby?
That's true. And by the way, still, again, if you were on the sub, if you just missed the sub, if all you're thinking about is the sub, and you thought, oh, I'll go listen to this show, and hopefully there'll be no sub talk. What are you thinking?
Maybe they can distract me with dead dog talk.
And by the way, you emailed me last night. No, it's still a horrible idea for a podcast. Dead dog
talk.
Yeah.
Zeke Fosse.
Am I that funny that you can't even sense it anymore? I'm like, it's so advanced.
It's ethereal now, yeah. Zeke Fosse says, no advice sought, just wanted to hear pussy lickers on the show again.
I still, I'm beginning to forget the context of, I forgot it
was
many
mostly
years ago.
just you blurting it out, which is what made it so funny.
I wish we could make a greatest hit so nobody wants it. What's our Christmas show going to be? How are you going to come up with a Christmas show that's going to mean anything? The only thing that people won't like is if you're not on the week. They don't like, a special Christmas time thing.
I want to do a Christmas show. Give it a shot.
That rejection is always can be mine for a laugh.
So far. I'll bury it eventually. Munson 3786 says, in my divine and borderline mystical way, I will ascertain the answer to the question in this envelope before never having seen the question. Answer. Is it spicy? Question. What does Snow White say when she's trying to remember the name of the eighth dwarf?
Oh my God. This person.
Just the fact that I got that it was Karnak early in the thing.
That's very good. Who is this? This
was Munson 3786.
Oh, of course. It's Thurman Munson.
Sure.
Yeah.
Batguano here. Ever heard of the phrase Red Sea pedestrian? Is it pejorative to a person of the Jewish faith? Well, sure it is. Is it only 3 words? It is only 3 words. However, the joke is so complex and requires a fair amount of knowledge for the person to get it. I recently heard the phrase in the life of Brian. I have been bored and watching old films because of the strike. The phrase first appeared in print in 1912. 3 other words that make up a complex comedic premise is hyperbaric chamber orchestra. All the best, Batguano.
This is somebody who should be on our staff if we get a show.
But yes, I have heard Red Sea Pedestrian as a Jew.
I've never heard that. That's so.
But I've also seen Life of Brian. So.
I have not seen that. I haven't seen that.
Have you not?
I think I have recently through your suggestion.
Fucking crazy talk if you haven't seen it. So get on it. Even if you don't remember seeing it, you should watch it.
Okay. You know what the problem is going to be right now?
What's that?
Me devoting any energy to remembering when I saw it is going to be useless.
Yeah, that's why you should just watch it.
And it won't be, and we're already, it's not going to be where you go, good,
it absolutely bears out another watch, too. There's enough jokes in it to that.
Okay, I will watch it. I will watch it.
Especially you. You'll miss a lot the first time.
Because I'm not quick, you mean? What is that supposed to mean? I'm not quick? What was that? You can't just stop your
I can.
and then stare off.
To the Jackie Rogers Jr.
I guess you have to stop
it. It was a Jackie Rogers Jr. look. It worked good for me. Dan Wade says, what a coincidence. The same week that Josh is singing the theme from Gummo. What is the theme from? Oh, I think he means Skidoo is what he means. I am also scheduled to sing Nielsen, although I imagine to a less receptive crowd. On that note, thanks again, Andy, for introducing me to Danny Capillion. Nice guy.
Oh, who's this? Who's
Hashtag think about your troubles. It's Dan Wade.
Dan, this is so fantastic. I believe now that Dan Wade has interviewed my childhood friend, cellist, and student at PS 193 in Whitestone, Danny Capillion, who put together the album I forget the name of the album, but it was a
Capillions
lot.
of fans can't be wrong.
And he put together an album of a lot of different people doing Nielsen, like Amy Mann and other people. Have I mentioned recently about how I worked with the great Shmapoopoo? All right, sorry.
Delicious Mix says, Josh, that was probably the best snippet of a Corolla impression I've heard, and you were completely unprepared for it. A true vocal wizard. Kudos, sir. I actually did kind of do it. I don't even want to ruin it now.
Okay, don't.
But they asked for it last week, and I did. It was in the ballpark.
Oh, okay, cuckoo.
On the whole midget debate, ouch. If we have to start calling them little people, then what do I call short-statured real people of the likes of Tom Cruise and Andy Kindler, etc.? Also, I feel like the term dwarf is offensive enough to defeat the purpose of the moniker change. I campaign that we refer to them. This is even hurting my.
Well, you know what? I just want to jump in and say I prefer the term offensively short for myself.
You're offensively short?
Yeah.
Yes. That's what Jimmy O likes to call him, too.
He calls me aggressively short. Just get in here.
Let's just skip to the end where he says, I do have a lot of midget jokes, but they're all pretty short. Sorry, had to squeeze that one in. All right. Sorry, Delicious Mick. I couldn't go through all your hate crime.
This is a tough week for Josh, and he gets to be the man. Oh my God! Why am I jumping in?
I don't know. Bryce,
as you were, Josh.
And finally, Paul. And finally, yeah, Dave. Yeah, Dave. Mercy kill. Bryce Colton says, fantastic show last week. I had to pause the podcast several times because I was laugh crying so often. Andy, when will you go out on the road with your big brass band, Spiky Kindler and the Real People playing slidey things?
I like the name of that band. Well, it's interesting, Josh, because I have actually, if I'm going back out, I told you I don't know if I am. If I'm going back, it would be with a big band.
Sure.
No, I'm not going back out, but I can see the light at the end, not like the light at the end of the tunnel, but I can see a time when I would be like a normal person or semi-normal person who takes plane rides. Not now.
No, keep waiting. Because you're clearly getting younger.
Nobody wants it.